a lot of you are still digesting the news that we could soon be living in a post-Roe v. Wade America, where women in some states are unable to legally choose to have an abortion. So last night, there were protests in cities across the country. In Los Angeles, police officers were on the scene and had to clear the streets. Well, check this out. A man who calls himself pro-life Spider-Man climbed a high-rise tower in San Francisco yesterday. He said he did it to spread his anti-abortion message. He was taken into custody by police after reaching the top. We're also hearing some more details about the investigation into the leaked Supreme Court opinion, including the fact that Chief Justice Roberts wants to keep it in-house for now and not refer it to the Justice Department. Erica.
Well, I hope that pro-life Spider-Man really got his jollies, because that's the last thing he's ever going to climb.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. This is like, it's so ridiculous that, first of all, well, actually, Al, I'm just gonna defer to you about pro-life Spider-Man.
Well, I don't want to spend too much time on pro-life. I think
you know a lot about this guy?
No, I just know that this is performative. I think that he was going to climb that tower either way. If there had been another rally for something else, he would have been down there like, I'm pro something else.
So PLS isn't going to stick.
No, I don't think that that's his thing. But what I do think is that this is performative.
Yeah.
But there's also, we saw very quickly this leaked out, and everybody's like, well, we'll see. I think they kind of slow rolled this idea out, because now what they've done is they've locked in the votes of the judges. They cannot go back now. That decision is out there, and they're giving the country a chance to digest it. I don't think
they can go back through multiple drafts.
But the judges that do will now look bad in front of the eyes of the public.
But
no,
technically
they legally can.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if it will go back. I'm just, the whole leak thing, I was thinking about this yesterday after we talked about it a little bit, really concerns me, because the country is now at odds again, right? It seemed like maybe a year or two, we're kind of getting back to normalization, kind of learning things from our past. And now, all of a sudden, we are at each other's throats again. 50-50 divided. It's something everyone's talking about. Everyone's yelling again on the internet. And it's like, I can't feel like this isn't calculated in some way. I don't know how the result's going to turn out, if they are going to pull it back, or if this is just to pin the country against each other for someone else's advantage. Maybe
I just think states are so different now that we are not the United States, we are the divided states. And I don't see that changing. Like, if you look at each individual county per different states, you see in different states and different counties, the large majority will be pro-life or pro-choice. And you brought this up yesterday, and it really got me thinking, if this goes forward, which it looks like it will, I do think that constituents and citizens are going to have to feel or think about where they live, where they bring up their kids, representing their own ideology.
Right.
You know, I agree with you, Sam, but I also think, Jeff, I love a good conspiracy, so I'm always looking at, if someone's telling me to look right, I'm gonna look left every time, But when you're saying that we're so split and divided, I'm wondering if we're seeing the rise of division or if we're seeing the rise of apathy, because so many people are very apathetic on so many issues that they don't vote, that they don't really, like, they may make their voices heard on the internet, but they're not actually doing anything that's going to change it.
I think this issue is different, in my opinion. I feel like this issue is the hot button issue, and some people only vote because of this issue. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
I think this is where we are, and I think we're going to have to really take, because you're talking about red states and blue states, but I wish it was that simple, Sammy, but if you look at the red states and blue states, a lot of it's really the city versus kind of the countryside. Right. That's really what it is. True. It's usually a blue dot and a red state. And when you have a dynamic like that, when you start saying, well, we're going to ostracize the state, we're not going to shoot movies in the state, we're not going to do concerts in the state, well, you're going to lose 50% of the people that may have voted, for choice or anti-choice, whatever. So it's hard to just be like, well, we're going to split out this half of the country. This isn't like the Civil War where there's a North and a South, and you can pretty much tell which states they are contiguous with each other, and you can tell which sides. Now it's going to be states that are going to be right next to each other that have differing values, and you can do different things in these states. So I think what we're going to find is really just states where they're almost like their own little kind of nation state, their own little thing where they have different laws, different rules, and we just kind of remember, like, when you're in Louisiana, you can drink a beer in the middle of the street, but you can't smoke marijuana. When you're in Colorado, you can smoke marijuana, but you can't drink a beer in the street. I think that's what's going to happen.
I just feel bad for some of the individuals that don't have the resources to leave if that's not exactly what they want.
Right.
Those are the real victims, in my opinion.